everyone. I'm Adam Brown, and this is Shell Point Today for Wednesday, December 17th. On today's show, we'll see what's cooking at Shell Point with Ruth Deuber. And we'll take a look back to the construction of the LifeQuest Aquatic Center with Shell Point Director of Project Development, Bob Southern. But before we get to that, we want to remind you that tomorrow is Beach Day with an outing to Del Nor-Wiggins State Park. A picnic lunch will be served, and the group will make their traditional stop for ice cream on the way home. Court pickups start at 8:30 a.m. with an approximate return time of 3 p.m. Cost is $16, including lunch, and you're on your own for the ice cream. Sign up at either service desk. If you'd like to do a little caroling yourself, the Susie Q will be going on another special sunset caroling cruise tomorrow evening. The boat will leave the dock behind the church at 5 p.m. and will return at 6:30. You will enjoy the scenic ride along the canals and sing some of your favorite Christmas carols. Enjoy cookies on the ride while soaking in the holiday cheer along with a beautiful sunset. You just can't beat it. Cost is $5, and you'll need to sign up at the greeter desk in the Resident Activity Center or call them at 454-2136. If you can't make it tomorrow evening, don't worry. You will have 2 more opportunities for a caroling cruise, Monday the 22nd or Tuesday the 23rd. If you are having guests for Christmas, you might want to take advantage of the Christmas Day Family Feast available from the Crystal Room. The ready-to-serve feast includes a whole roasted turkey or baked ham dinner with all the fixins for just $56.95. Pies and rolls are also available, but you must order this by Friday the 19th. Then you will be able to pick up your meal Christmas Day at the Social Center between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Call 454-2199 to order or stop by the Crystal Room. And speaking of eating, Ruth Deuber has a recipe today for a delicious onion dip that would be a perfect appetizer or snack for your holiday visitors.
Hi, I'm Ruth Deuber, and this is What's Cooking at Shell Point. And I have a special guest today, MaryAnn Bennet. And I looked up in my notebook of all my recipes, and you were the 8th show.
Oh, was
That
I?
was back in 2006.
Oh, my. 8 years
And
ago.
let's see, you did the Cine Minis, the
The
little
minis-
breakfast rolls.
Yeah,
So-
I say it the other way, mini cinnies.
Okay, well,
But
whatever.
they-
Either
they
way,
were
but they're
good.
so delicious anyway. So she's back today, and she has a wonderful hors d'oeuvre, something to serve over the holidays because we are coming up to them. So I'm going to let you take it over, MaryAnn. So,
Okay. All right, I have a delicious hot hors d'oeuvre to show you, and I think you will like it, and not only like it, but it's so easy, and you don't even have to know the recipe because you can, after you watch a show, you'll have it in your head. There are only 3 items. There's a sweet onion. The recipe calls it Vidalia onion, but the good Florida sweet onions can't be beat, and that's what I used. And we use Jarlsberg cheese, that's a good Swiss cheese, and some mayo. And the thing is that we use the same measurement for everything, a half cup of cheese, onions, and mayo. So here's the way we do it. I've already chopped the onions. You can make this fine or like this, but they need to be chopped up, and I'll dump them in. And then we'll do the cheese. And I'll coarse grate the cheese, enough to make a half cup.
MaryAnn is a good cook, and she entertains beautifully. So, and she does a lot. So.
I had 24 the other night, but I didn't cook for them.
There, you got it, I think. That looks great. Yeah, let me take that.
Okay,
Get it out of your way.
Thank you. Okay, and we dump that in. And then a half a cup of mayo. That ought to do it. then dump that in. And mix it up. Okay. And spread it out. Okay, this is the Vidalia dip, and it will go in the oven. Here's another thing, 25 or 30 minutes. I say a half hour, so it's another one half at 375 degrees, and that's the whole thing. I'll
Okay, put it on the stove there, and I'm going to bring this over, and this is so really hot.
I bought a little brioche and had the baker slice it, and then I toasted them. It made a little heavier snack, and I thought that was very nice.
Yeah.
I haven't toasted these, though.
Okay. Just take a spoonful and we'll let it cool off a little
All
bit.
right.
Since we're going to taste this, we can blow on it, right?
You're right.
It's really hot.
Don't you want a cracker?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Because of television and time, we do have to do a lot of prep ahead of time. That is so yummy. It's really, really good.
I enjoy it,
yeah.
and I hope you do.
I'm sure you will. We'll put that up on the website and use it over your holidays. You'll really like it, and it keeps well. So, bye-bye.
Bye.
Yesterday, we had part 1 of a conversation with Bob Southern, our Director of Project Development, about the construction of the LifeQuest Aquatic Center. Well, here's part 2.
Hi everybody, it's Jared Pike here with Shell Point TV. With me is Bob Southern, the Director of Project Development. And today, we're going to look at footage that we've shot of the Aquatic Center, the LifeQuest Aquatic Center, as it's being built. So now the pool's covered in concrete, the buildings, the exteriors are done, and they're working on the interiors. Now I see they're kind of digging trenches here. What are they doing?
They are running more pipes around, and they're underground utilities of various types, and it could be irrigation, it could be electrical, it could be plumbing. There's just a myriad of pipes running all over that site, and it was a great challenge to work in the pool project with all the existing underground utilities that run through that site, and plus add all the new ones that we had to put in. And we had to reroute a few heavy communication and phone lines around the site. So it's always a challenge in a area that has been developed to work around what's there. And some things you know ahead of time, and some things you find by accident, and that's never a lot of fun.
All right, I see more stakes here. What are they staking out?
Well, they're starting to stake out where other things are going to occur on the site. Where there are going to be sidewalks, where there will be planter beds, where paver blocks will go. I was joking with the superintendent, it looked like he was going to start planting his tomatoes out there. There were so many stakes. But you're starting to lay out the site so that the superintendent knows where he's going to put in his sidewalk, and where the edge of the pavement is, and where the street starts, and where the palm trees go, and all the stuff you see out there now. It's not left to happenstance. Surveyors come out and they lay out corners of things so that this is where the pavement ends, and this is where the planter bed starts. And so that's all over that site. You'd see stakes telling him where the pavers go and where the concrete starts and stops. And
They're still hauling in more dirt.
still hauling in more dirt.
That's a never-ending thing, isn't it?
That's a never-ending thing. You take dirt out, you bring dirt in. What they're doing now is spreading the sand that goes under the paver bricks. We call them paver blocks, paver bricks, but there is a compactable, nicely smoothable sand that you put under the paver brick, and under that is a very compactable material that they run around on first that gives you a good hard base. And then the sand is something that the guys can smooth out nicely that they then lay the pavers on. So there are build-up layers that as you get up to that layer, even with the pool deck, of all that material in there.
I see them laying the curbs.
Yeah, they're starting to form the site. And because we had such a restricted schedule, so much we had to get done, and so much that needed to be done, we did some areas and then we had to leave some openings so you could get in to deliver palm trees or get in to finish certain things. But we couldn't wait to do the entire perimeter, so we did some things and then left other things go to finish later.
All right, trees coming. This is a big day.
Yeah, we brought in some of the bigger trees and some of the perimeter stuff, but particularly the bigger ones that had to go into the site and the ones that went deep into the site as early as we could. And then you had to really make sure you kept them watered while this other construction work was going on because we had no irrigation system. And now we're into the time of the year when you're not getting any rain.
Right.
So we had a day laborer out there, and one of his jobs was just to water trees every day.
Wow.
Run around with a hose and keep the trees wet. They're expensive palms, and you didn't want to risk losing them and not keeping them wet.
Let's talk about the chickee hut, and I've never seen a chickee hut being built. So why don't you describe it? They actually build it on site. They don't have it in a warehouse somewhere.
Yeah, the chickee hut is built and used by the Native Americans that lived in Florida, the Seminoles or the Miccosukes, and they have used it for shelter for generations, and it's made out of cypress and palm fronds, and they bring all the materials out on a truck, and they construct it right on site. It's been modernized a little bit. The posts at the bottom are now pressure treated lumber, so they have upgraded that, but enjoyable to watch it because nobody's out there with tape measures, or it's all done by eye, and the horizontal roof members are essentially at the height they are because the guy would put his foot on the one below and his knee would be kind of where he'd lay the next one and nail it in place, and then the fronds are kind of pre-cut, and the guy on the bottom puts a nail in one place, and then the guy comes up and drives the nail in the rest of the way and cuts the frond off at the right length, and they're passing up fronds as fast as they can, and in like 5 hours they had that structure built and they were out of there.
It's amazing, and those things last.
They do last. The fronds will last probably 7-8 years or longer. If you don't have any bad windstorms.
All right, I see them bringing the pavers in. Talk about that job.
The guys doing the pavers, after you've got a compacted sub base in there, they then bring in this good clean sand that they spread around and they level it out. They've got different patterns they use for laying pavers. This particular pattern out there, for the most part, is called a random T. And if you look through most of it, you'll see a T shape that shows up periodically, and it's random, which is why they call it random T. But they got guys who have very good, strong backs who bend over all day long, and guys keep feeding them brick, and they keep laying them and hardly ever straighten up, it seems like. And they just keep laying them by hand, brick after brick after brick, cutting, many, many bricks to fit around things.
So while they're doing the pavers, we see on the left that guys have poured sidewalks for the main building here. And now they're working on these parking spots.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing that we did there. We have to, for a lot of years, you've had to contain the water that runs off of your project during a storm on your project site. You can't just let your storm water run out into surrounding water bodies or somebody else's property the way it had done for many decades. And in this particular case, or in many cases, it's done in a stormwater retention pond. But there really wasn't a great place for a retention pond in this area. So we accommodated a lot of our retention under these parking lots with a series of different size gravels layered over top of each other, and then a paver brick laid on top of that that's called a pervious paver. And it's pervious because it's got wider spacing between the brick so that water percolates through that paver arrangement quicker and then filters down through these various thicknesses of gravel and then percolates into the soil over time. So that our water retention is actually accommodated in the new parking areas that we put in around the new pool, the aquatic center. So we didn't have to have a retention pond per se, but it's handled right here in these parking lots. It's not only an attractive parking lot, but you don't even know it's a retention pond if somebody doesn't tell you that.
All right, we're getting down to the home stretch here, and I see that they take away the mobile office here.
There it went.
That's a landmark in construction, isn't it?
It is. That means you're usually within the last week or so. Now you're trying to finish the site and get ready to open very soon.
They're putting water in?
We're filling the pools. We filled them with our fire hydrants. Actually didn't take too long to do that.
And then
more plants.
More plants, make it look really nice. And then I guess the final part is the road.
Yes, we had to change the grade of the road around the new aquatic center in a number of locations. So you see the work they're doing right up against those new areas. And then because we impacted this road here between the guest house and the aquatic center, I had them put a new layer over that area, which is what you see happening there. And then restripe the existing areas and new stripes on the new areas.
What is this blue hose here? This is a final wash down, I guess?
Yeah, that's the final filling. I think they're filling, topping off the exercise pool there and a little bit of wash down as they need to. Now we're getting the paver, the parking blocks in and getting them painted.
And then it's time for a party.
And it's time for a ribbon cutting. There comes the chairs.
So this was a pretty cool day, Bob, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nice to get it done and dedicate it, and it was beautiful. It was really fun to show it off, and we were quite happy to do so and get everybody in there and have them take a look at it.
And I see that you were the first one in.
Yeah, we were told that we were going to have to get in there and cut the ribbon, so I got the shoes off and got in, and Scott and Dawn and Pete were in there. And
I think that's quite appropriate that you were the first one.
I guess so. The water wasn't too cold as long as it didn't go over your ankles at that point. We didn't have the heaters on yet.
It looks like everyone's enjoying this pool immensely. What do you think of the job now that you've seen it completed?
Well, I think it's a wonderful addition to the island. I think it's so far above where we started with the old pool. The old pool was wonderful for its time. It didn't owe us anything. It had been there for over 40 years. And it was time for it to take its rest. And I don't know that there's many retirement communities in the country that can say they've got an aquatic center like this one. So I think it's something we can be very proud of.
It's great. We've been looking at the footage of the Aquatic Center of the construction with Bob Southern. For ShellPoint TV, this is Jared Pike.
Now it's time to cover all of today's happenings, menus, and village church connections.
Hi, Hi, Shell Point. I'm Caitlin Van Scoy, and this is Bev Chanley, and this is the Happening segment of Shell Point TV. And happy first day of Hanukkah, and I'm going to tell you our morning lineup. Before we begin our morning, I want to let you know that the Academy's Spring 2015 brochure will be delivered today. We start our morning off with 7:45 men's Bible study in the Osprey Room on the island. At 8 a.m., we have men's match play doubles tennis at the Woodlands tennis courts. Lilly and Company Jewelers will be here for their weekly jewelry service at 8:45 in the Resident Activity Center on the island. And Jurassic Travel will be here at 9 a.m. in the Egret Room on the island. At 9 a.m., we have the watercolor group meeting with Phil Hilton at the Art Studio on the island. At 9:15, the card making and scrapbooking group will be meeting at the Tarpon Room on the Island Tunnel. 10 a.m., the Ladies Bible Study will be meeting in the Osprey Room on the island. Also at 10 a.m., men's match play doubles tennis will be at the Woodlands tennis courts. 10:15, the Model Yacht Sailing Club will be meeting at the Commons Lake at the Woodlands. 11 a.m., we have the Neuropathy group meeting in the Oak Room at the Woodlands. And we finished our morning off with a Health Connections class at 11:30, cardio conditioning. That's at the Health Club on the island, and it's currently closed. And here's Bev for our afternoon lineup.
Well, thanks, Caitlin. At 1 o'clock, we have chess. That's played in the Library Lounge on the island. 1:30 to 3:30, the Model Train Room is open for tours. We have a Health Connections class at 1:45. This one is Balance and Mobility Training Level 1. That's in the Health Club. It's currently full. Knitters Anonymous will be in the Osprey Room on the island at 2:15. Jazz and Stuff will be playing in the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands at 2:30, so head on there for a concert. 3 o'clock is the time for Bible study in the Community Room of King's Crown. 3 o'clock is also the time for a Health Connections class, Pilates Stretch down in the Health Club. And another 3 o'clock activities, the Memory Care group will be in the Behavioral Health of the Medical Center. Sign up is required. At 3:30, we have Health Connections, Aqua, Agility, and Conditioning at the Aquatic Center. And we have a 4 o'clock pickleball game going on at the pickleball court. At 4:30, it's time for indoor botching. That's in the Health Club on the island. We have church choir rehearsal in the church choir room at 5:45. And then we'll have 7:15 prayer and praise at the village church. We're sure glad you joined us today, and we will see you back here again tomorrow.
Menus for Wednesday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is braised pork with mashed sweet potato and sautéed mushrooms. The dinner special is the pasta buffet for $13.95, and the soup of the day is minestrone. In the Island Cafe for lunch, it's a Philly cheesesteak with chips for $7.25. The dinner special is grilled shrimp for $8.25. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill are grilled ribeye for $19.95 or halibut for $18.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm Andy Hawkins, the senior pastor of the Village Church, and I'm here with Randy Woods, who's our minister of worship and music. And this is a glorious time of the year for worship and music, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Yeah. Sunday after Sunday, and as we look here during the Christmas season to the Christmas Eve service is really special.
I always love the Christmas services in general. One of the main reasons is because of the music, in addition to the significance of the story, obviously. But the music is glorious, and we're going to have 2 Christmas Eve services this Christmas Eve, one at 4:15 and one at 7:15.
We've done that. This will be the second year because our crowd has been so large in years past. And last year, with the first time at 4:15 and 7:15, we had a full house both times.
Pretty much both times.
So we look forward to that again this year.
That's right. And of course, there's going to be some glorious music in addition to candlelight service.
Yes, of course, we call this the candlelight service of carols and candlelight, Christmas Eve. And singing the carols together with the organ, the piano, in the quietness of the evening that is a candlelight service where we share the light. And then not only the congregation singing, but guest soloist, our own resident, Doug Peoples, is going to be singing "O Holy Night."
Oh, I love when Doug sings.
Yes.
His voice just melts me. Yeah. And I'm sure something like "O Holy Night" will be extraordinary.
Yes, and understand that too will be the theme in which you'll be speaking on this special Christmas Eve.
That's right.
O Holy Night.
That's right.
Well, Janice Quinlan will be lighting the Advent candles as she has all during the Advent season. But Christmas Eve, we light that final candle, the Christ candle.
That's right.
And then you'll take the light from that, and we will share it as a congregation, symbolic of sharing God's love with all around us.
Absolutely. Obviously, it's a very significant service for the church year, especially for those who love to follow the church year in terms of its liturgy and all those kinds of things. The birth of our Savior, the coming of Christ, the incarnate Word of God is so special and so significant to us that we just really, as believers in Christ, love to celebrate it and glory in it.
And it is a great celebration. Trust that all the folks in the church and our community will gather as we have family and friends. Everyone is welcome to come and attend. We do both services for those who prefer the afternoon at 4:15 or 7:15. Transportation is provided throughout the community, but come and be a part of the service as we worship together on Christmas Eve.
That's correct. So blessings to each and every one of you during this Advent season, and we certainly hope to see you at one of those services on Christmas Eve.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow when we'll hear a testimonial story about the Day Respite Program. And Robin Church will share some last-minute gift ideas from the Island Salon. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Wednesday, December 17th. I'm Adam Brown, and for all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.